Ready? I am.
I am ready to. Let's go.
Okay.
Right, so we've got Nick as Ottoman, Chiz as
Leia
Japanese.
will.
Obviously, Chiz being a strong Japanese player, we know that. I do not know a bunch about Nick actually. I didn't even know who this player is, so let's just look and learn and see what kind of player this Nick guy is.
But I can tell.
He
I
said,
if you want to talk a little bit about Chase, you introduce him, then I can actually introduce Nick. Then.
"Oh yeah, let's do that."
Let's do that.
Well, as far as I know, Chiz has been around in DE since ever. I think since DE started, he's been around. I cannot tell about prior to that since I was not really too active in the community. But I've got to know Chiz as a strong Japanese player, and his Elo range is I think 1850 plus, right? Maybe if Chiz is still in the chat, he can tell us his
We
Elo range.
we do have a redemption point. You can. It's very cheap, and you can actually put someone's name in there, and it will tell you their rank. So that uses the Dory's website. I'm actually gonna change that to rank Dory to be more specific. But yeah, Nick playing the Ottomans. Nick is climbing up the ladder. He's on. I think he's about 1700 elo. I've been seeing he very well spoken person. He's doing a lot of YouTube videos for the Brazilian community, and I just got a lot of love for this guy. This guy is very friendly, always willing to help anyone, and does speak English as well. So that is a plus. And
That's definitely a plus.
Yeah,
building bridges between communities who otherwise would be right.
And I don't think he. I think he lives in Brazil and he speaks actually better than Tom. And Nick, you know, like he's very familiar with DLCs, very familiar with the African thieves. He has a very good idea of what is meta. So as a newcomer, he is really aware of what's happening. He does not think of the past, and he's actually looking for the game and see the games as it is, which I take a lot that from him. And I think it's going to be a good series between Nick and Cheese here. I think he has very good mechanics. I've seen some of his Spanish plays, some of his Hausa plays, which is amazing. You will see if he goes through, you'll be able to see some of that. But let's see.
Yeah, let's have a look at how these players started their game. On the Ottoman side, we saw the early dog, and we just saw him click up. I guess it is the quartermaster. Maybe you want to double check, but what else would you do as Ottoman, right? It is the quartermaster.
True. So you might say that you can get the coin if you wanted the coin for the church, but it's very late. You go 900 foot, so people normally go for the quartermasters.
Right. Yes. So much more interesting is the Japanese side, as they have multiple options to start off. Since they changed the Japan with the 100 coin change, which I'm personally not a big fan of, they've got a lot more options. And wow, that's some spice right there with the Spanish. So the Spanish consulate are like giving you faster access to shipments, and I bet that's a Torii gate, right? Yeah, it is a Torii gate. So that means he's gonna play aggressive. He wanna count on those XP gains to from fighting, really, to get a nice XP curve pumping out those shipments. Also we see a market start.
I never used the Spanish consulate for Japan.
Yeah, right. It's kind of special, but since this is his main civ, he knows all the tricks and he's probably quite familiar with this. Yeah. And rushing is not really the most common thing you do with Japan, so it can catch your opponents off guard if you do that. So I hope we see a Japanese rush here. Maybe.
So he started with the fishing boat, so I think that's gonna be something that is gonna conflict with Nick here. They're both on water.
No, I don't think so, because no. This is really common.
I know it's common.
Three fishing boats is better than 2 villages. 100%. And he won't commit more on the water. And if he loses the fishing boats to Caravel, that's a small win for Chiz already, because his opponent invested into a Caravel, or maybe 2 if he sends one.
100%. But what I meant to say is like they both gonna see each other at some point, and they will have information that they're on
Right.
water.
So if anything, this would be an up for Chiz, because he's got the confirmation that his opponent is on water with the dog, while all that Nick will get to know is, well, yeah, my opponent sent the fishing boats, which I already knew by looking at the deck.
He's heavily
So
investing in
someone's
water.
going
What do you think
for.
about this from Nick?
Look at that. He's got it. Nick went for a TP, which was burned down, so that probably cost him 100 wood, 100 food, and that was sieged down by the samurai from the Egypt.
Do you actually lose the 200 resources if they get siege before they get built, or do you just lose how much
I think
percentage
you
wise?
lose partially. Yeah, I think
I
you
think
lose
it's
partially.
partial loss, right? Yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure, because also this, well, it's a new mechanic with the TP placements, right?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about the TP in particular, but if for any other building, you would just pay the percentage of your build. I think I would assume this is the case for this, so I don't think he lost 200 resources here.
Can you show us the decks once more for the Ottoman,
Yeah,
especially?
let's do it.
Right, so his first card was 700 wood, and then followed up by 700 coin. Can we see his base once again? And have a look what
what?
kind of infrastructure his base,
Oh, his
so we see
base.
what kind of
Sorry.
infrastructure. Yeah, a lot of houses, so this indicates he actually wants to go H2, foundry and barracks. Let's see what he does with those.
Going to
Probably starting
survive.
off with sieging some shrines maybe, and also the rest of the wood went into more boats, but no wood chopping actually. So
Yeah, so I think he's happy with the 12 boats, which is actually what Crab said last time, is the optimal number of boats for this particular map. So I don't know if he overheard that or if he actually knows it. Crab he knows that sort of
so
thing,
that's
which
the
is
golden
so
rule.
interesting.
That's the golden crabby the crabby rule. 12 fishing boats on Wallachia.
Pretty much, yeah. Crabby is something. So this map is the wetting. They do have the fort. We have the cheaper age up, very cheap. That one in particular is cheap. 300 food. I think that he was
Yeah, that's so much
hoping
value.
to get that. Nick was.
Right.
Oh, let's look into
So
Japan perspective in looking at his deck.
exactly, yeah, right. So he's
Oh,
on 110
interesting.
pop right now, and he sent. Wait, did he send those
I think he
shrine
sent
wagons?
10 shrines.
What is that card?
That's 10
It's
shrines.
not
It's
the.
five. You can send 5 shrines twice. That's
Wait,
it.
but this is not the card. This is not the card
No.
that gives you plus 5%, right?
That's 4 shrines, and that is like a greenhouse. So
Oh, and
definitely
it's
not
not a
that one.
double. Is it a double card?
It is a double card. Both are. So you have this one that gives you 5 shrine wagons, but nothing else. Just the wagons, and you have the other one that gives you 5% plus on gathering of the shrines plus 4 wagons.
Oh
So you
wow!
can actually
Also,
have both.
he changed into Japanese consulate now after receiving a lot of shipments.
Yeah, that card basically received a little bit of love because it used to be 4, and then because we have this new card that gives you 5% plus 4, so they changed that instead of 4 shrines to actually become 5 now. So that kind is slightly better because you get 1 extra shrine out of it.
Right, and it synergizes well with your Spanish consulate, since you get your XP bounties quicker up than if you would
Right.
build them with your monks.
It would be interesting to have the Spanish and the one there's a card that actually makes your shrines gather XP. I think at some point that could be useful, but it
Yeah,
is really
that's the
hard to
7 lucky
use.
gods.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
something like gods. That's it.
Yeah, but usually that's more like a meme strap because it
I
really
agree.
slows you down. But here we go into the first fight, and the Nagis are hopefully doing a lot of damage here if you can get them nicely surrounded. Nick not really being able to pull back his Abus gunners
Yeah, there
quite
you go.
yet.
Now he did.
And now he did that, but I think it is a little bit too late because he lost he had so many casualties on the Abus gunners, and they're so expensive, 100 gold.
Right, and he's
And
having a lot
that's
of.
why the Nagis are so good here, right? Just snare, and you're actually with the 4.5 speed, they just catch up and do the damage.
Yeah, the Ashigar. Once you get his snare, the Ashigar is always there, taking units, taking hits because of that unit speed. Like you just said, it's like you can't really run away, and then even if you get slightly snared by like Naganatas, if you just put them away, the Ashigar will be there, taking down your units and dwindling your army slightly over and over. That was a very good fight for Cheese, don't you agree?
It was, yeah, it was definitely. So now he's actually leading, and he could do two things, like just mass an H2 or send like 600 coin and go up.
So let's see here. Was he did ship the 300 diplomat XP here export? The upgrade for the Ashigaru and also 10 Ashigarus in shipment.
Right. So he sent his
That's a lot.
Ashigaru up. If I was him, I would just end the game on the spot. Keep massing, send your daimyo, and then all in. If you're lucky, and maybe you can scout it, maybe you catch your opponent on the age up.
Okay, so his macro now doesn't really say that he's gonna age up, and he
No,
is
actually
doing
he
a
sends a
lot
daimyo,
of
so that just tells us it's go time.
his go time, yeah. And then he I think he's not really going into economic boom. He's playing like a normal Civ. He just got a couple shrines. He's not focused on the shrines. That's why he has. I think he probably had his whole macro into food and coin, whilst he shipped those two shipments for the shrines, which allows him to have the perfect macro to make units.
Right,
And
and he
then
pretty much plays Japan at this point like a tempo civ.
yeah, you just playing
Just
like a
shipment after
basic
shipment.
civilization, correct?
Yeah.
So let's look at Nick what's doing in the moment. So Nick getting the up of the actually he has a lot of villages for Ottomans at the 10 minutes. I saw that he had like 26 villages at 7 minutes, which is insane for Ottomans because of the water, the 12 boats there. So he has to hold up, so his economy can pick it up, but he will. This is be defined by these gameplays here. Um,
Right. So far, Nick is kind of doing an okay job of getting his units into a safe spot.
yeah,
But
that's
there's
not bad.
also a lot of just wiggling around, not getting shots off.
The problem is
But
that the Janissary is slowing these units, I think. And these guys have to get out of there and focus on using the Ebo Gunners, and that's gonna happen. It's gonna be a problem. But he sees that just in time, so the Nagara gonna go down here. I don't know, but
overall,
it feels very weird that the game somehow doesn't have sounds. I feel like it's just like have some game sounds every now and then. It sounds very odd to me. It's very
well, is it from
quiet.
the game itself, or could you
I
just
don't
turn it
know.
up more?
I don't know. It's just like that. I don't know if I think it's a DE thing. Is that a
Well,
Daimod? Oh, it
I am
is.
surprised that Nick held this long, honestly, because when I saw that Japanese mass, I was like,
But
well,
look what
game
is
could be
coming his
over.
way down. We have
Yeah.
reinforcements of 12 Ashigarus.
Let's
Oof,
compare. Let's compare the eco. So, well, there's some Hus
30,
or Delhi. They're called Delhi nowadays. Poppin,
right.
which will clean the Yumi, and uh, and another batch of Abus. That could do a difference actually.
I don't think you will. That's way too much Ashigaru here. We have the Daimo. They can have like a nice pop as soon as it has 5 Yumi. Probably will ship that one next.
Right, but he
Uh,
could kill the Daimyo with the
oh, yeah, I
TC
think the
fire.
Daimo is
That would be
actually
a huge
dying right
win.
now.
Right. Let's compare
Wow.
the eco so we can get a feel of how these players can remass because it's water eco versus shrine eco.
Right, you go. So he has right now 9 shrines and 35 villagers. And Nick got 42 villagers, being 12 of them boats. So he has 30 villagers over 35. We know that land does a little bit more impact, but the problem is he's gonna lose those Abuganas. He has used the villagers to protect the Abuganas here against the
Exactly.
Naginata.
And look
That's
at
a
the
very
wills.
nice.
He's purposefully pulling his wills to block the Naginatas away, but it's too late. The ashes are just too fast. You can just get in there and
Yeah.
absolutely wreck those Abus without any anti-cav.
And he
Well,
calls
yeah,
GG.
you can't do anything but call the GG here.
Okay, so this is the second match between Nick and Chiz. We just had Chiz won the first match on Wallachia, and actually, I'm gonna actually let Animus introduce you to the second match, and Take it away.
Well, yeah. So we have somewhat of a déjà vu here because we've seen exactly this map and this matchup with the same civs in the Rob versus Lazarus game.
Correct.
And what we saw back then was a very quick game that was decided within the first 6 minutes because Rob decided that he had a wrong read and he decided to go for the wrong wonder. So what Rob did in his game was go for a Kanimata when I would really recommend doing a Agrifort build on this map and against this opponent because well Haudenosaunee they can do a really strong push in H2. They can not only do a rush, but they can also hold pressure in H2, and
Oof.
you want to shut that down. You don't want to risk any early what happened to the stream? Oh, we're back. Right.
Okay,
So
so
you wanna have the game be decided this early, and you wanna have the
oof.
chance to age up eventually as India.
So
So yeah,
she's making
India's got a
great
lot of
use of
cows already.
the water buffaloes, and great use of the map. Use all those elephants here, trying to maybe take the treasure here from Nick unsuccessfully. What do you think about having 6 buffalo already? I
Yeah, I
think that
mean we've
was the
talked
same
about
idea
this,
that
right?
Robbie had. Yeah, Robbie
Yeah,
done the same
exactly.
thing.
That's the reason why India is so strong here.
Right, I agree. A lot of visibility is a small map, so you can cover this very quickly, and you get all of those buffaloes, get that extra experience. That, dude, if you actually get all of this, even
Oh,
without
also,
the sanctuary, I think it's almost like a TP, if not
Kavanna, do you
more.
see what I see for India? Look at the resource, look at the pop space. Do we see a rush here?
Ooh, that 10-10. Why
Yeah,
not 12? Because you don't have the 12 village. Okay, of course. That's why it says 10-10.
exactly.
Right, so you do have 9. That's I think that's the exact same number we had for
Oh
Rob in the
no,
other game.
he's not even going for rush.
Is he
Do you
not?
see the wonder? No, do you see the wonder that he just dropped?
Oh no, the
It is a
same.
Kanimata.
What is going on?
Well,
How
but
is
in this
why
case,
did
he
you
will
age
be
up with
up.
10-10 though?
Well, he will be up quite fast. Except he put on one villager. I can't really tell you why he chose to
Oh, that's 10.
not make a house, but I guess it's got something to do with the age of time.
Well, you have to hold up this. The problem with not having the agrofort, you're gonna have to rely either on a shipment to get your units at the beginning to defend yourself, because you know Haudenosaunee might be in your face. You have to expect that. He knows it might be a thing. Or will he drop like a barracks? You have to drop a barracks somehow. And you know, once you go like a 5 sepoy shipment, then once those die, if you don't have a barracks up, you're in big trouble.
Right, but you know what you can do when going for the Kanimata? You're more
Right.
flexible because you have your 200 wood on the
Mm-hmm.
ground from the age up, and you can place your stable, and you can do some zams, which would counter the Kani horseman, which is usually sent first in a rush by Haudenosaunee. So placing the Kanimata in the back of your base, I do not completely disagree with that.
Right.
Um, right. Also, look at the age up time. Haudenosaunee ages slow.
340, 340.
Right,
Yeah, he is.
they're up
He's
now.
not. Is he saying that Nick maybe he's not actually going for a rush? He's actually going for with the dock, but he's investing into water. And you know that if Haudenosaunee also plays these cards correctly, H3 Haudenosaunee is quite strong. Going to an H4 because if
No,
I don't think he actually needs to go to H4 against India because India doesn't have the Falconet push, so he can actually H3. He can do H2 as well. But I don't know.
have a look
There you
at the
go.
middle of the map. Yeah,
Yeah, we do
exactly.
have a
This is
warehouse
telling.
here.
This
This
is
is
telling.
telling.
So
Yeah.
we've got a warhead. He will place his flag forward, and then we see at least some distraction with the Kenya horseman and some hyena.
Yeah, this map in particular, like taking map control is such a good thing because all the hunts and all the mines in the middle are just so important. Because once you lose that bit, the hunts, oh, there you go, you got the sanctuary, the sacred field. That's the name I was looking
Yeah,
for.
he
Nice,
did
I
it. He
like
did
that.
it.
I
Yeah.
wonder how, how much that changed. There more experience points when task specific filtering cows. It does not say.
So we just had the first raid, by the way. So there was one villager dying. So that was quite successful already for
Right.
0 damage on the horseman.
Oh, that's you can have 10. It has absolute 10.
Well, yeah,
What a
10 is the
chat.
max, and someone did the math, and I heard someone talk about this. Oh, this is scary. This is scary. The stable
Okay.
not going up, or is that even a
The
stable?
consulate. The
No, it's a
consulate.
consulate. Right.
Thanks for the follow, the code defender. So it does have the consulate. We do have a barracks in the back here. Let's see if we're actually having any shipments. We do have the diplomatic intrigue.
No, but we've got something else instead, and that is a TP with the conquistador. So Chiz
Oh,
knows
that's even
about
better.
Chiz knows all his strong natives, and conquistadors being the hot garbage nowadays. So all the lamers gonna go for conquistador
We are overcapped right now,
lane.
but we have all the villages in the back. So kind of, I like having the villages over here. They are protected a little bit by this mangroves. It's really hard to actually get them. And with the protection of conquistadors, you'll be able to safely gather. But then once that hunt is down, he cannot eat the cows. If I don't know if you are aware, if you are India, you cannot actually get the cow because the cows are sacred. They can give you experience, but they cannot be eaten for food. And the only hunts available in the middle of the map, or at the top, or either on the south of the map, where actually has possibly visibility here from the Haudenosaunee, so it won't be able to just scout here, sneak in here to get the hunt. What do
Yeah,
you
so
think
we
so
see.
far?
Yeah, we see Haudenosaunee expand the pressures, constantly raiding, but now we have also the ASAPs from the Ottoman consulate, which is an excellent anti-cav. And mix in with the conquistadors. I think he's fine with the anti-cav here, and he can start producing Gurkha and kite those musketeers. He doesn't even have to commit here. Like
Okay,
he doesn't want to take a fight here.
so you got 16
Unless
tomahawks and 4 any horsemen
yeah, you don't
against.
really want to lose your consulate, right? So poking a bit until you have more units would be nice, but
Consulate does go down though.
it
And we
does
do
go
have
down.
information from Cheese here. It says that we got 3.3 XP per second with the sacred fields. That means it's greater than 3 trade posts.
Trade posts, wow.
Yeah,
And
it's
that
a
only
lot.
for how much does the sacred field cost?
200 wood. So
It
it's
is
basically
200.
1 TP that is greater than 3. Triple the
Right.
value of experience gathering. Very,
Oh, and
very
another
nice.
fun fact, you talked about India not being able to eat the cows because they're sacred, but they also do not fatten on as long as they're
Oh, is
on the
that
sacred
so?
fields.
Do
Yeah.
you think that if they are fat, but they're more fat, they gather more XP, or it just
No,
does
it
not
doesn't. It
matter?
doesn't matter.
It
Yeah,
does not
it
matter.
does
So
not matter.
there you go. But that's a good thing, because if it does lose this base, for example, has another base somewhere, the opponent does get those cows, they will not be fat, and then will not benefit as much as they would if they would be fattened. Okay,
Yeah.
so you
So
do
we
get
see
a
the first batch
villager
of
here.
Gurkha, and this is exactly what he needs because now he can start kiting him, but he does not even do that. He just goes heads first into this fight. I think one reason why he does that is the conquistadors because they do area damage.
He's trying to poke with the conquistador here, but we do have a lot of those hyenas there. There's 17 of them doing major damage on the back line here. The Gurkha will not be enough. The conquistador with 30% range resist is like they just soak the damage, even though they are counted by the hyena. They do soak a lot of the damage since the hyenas do not have that much damage pool, I think, especially in the early game.
Yeah, this was certainly not a favorable trade for Chiz. I think pulling back and trying to kite with the Gurkha would have been the better option. He was not really threatened to lose much more buildings. And those Gurkha should keep him at bay, should keep his opponent at bay.
Okay, let's see how many boats we got there. 12 boats.
We've
So
got the magic number.
we're going for 13. He's breaking the cycle. He's going for 13 because
He's breaking the crab god rule.
I think it's because the 12 on last game was not satisfactory, and I thought, okay, no, 13. You know, it's Friday.
Yeah, he's
that was
making his own rules now, changing the meta.
and me making daddy jokes. You got shipments. I want to say, what is that? Okay, there you go. The tomahawks, hyenas, and mantlets have more attack and hit points, so an upgrade here for the hyenas and the hawks, the tomahawks, both of them. That's OP.
So what did India do for his eco?
Let's have a look. We do have that extra resources being gathered here because of the Karnimara vicinity. With anything that is within this area of effect will be affect the villagers, so they will gather more coin than they normally would. So we are on 47, 48, getting popped here. Our economy is okay.
Can we have a look at the deck?
So we got 47 villages now in total, counting the boats, against 29. So India's very behind. He managed to survive here, but he
Also, do
is
you
far
see that
economically
influence?
behind. However, the scores
He's really
are
stacking. He's really stacking on the influence right now. 500 and no consulate, and also
right.
no wood really to get that up.
No, he can't really. He's mainly surviving on distributivism and for login here. So he will have to do something about it because he wants to keep villager production only with that. That those trickles might allow him to have villager production, but he might need houses, and he will have to use the exports at some point because he already was a whole shipment sending the diplomatic intrigue, even that extra 300 export that has not been used yet. That would definitely benefit him against a push from Chis, but I think he has more important things in mind and does not have a market. He has a market here, so that actually, in the case of need, he might actually buy that, but he needs more coin. And yeah, very he is shipping now. Tiger Claws, that's why he cannot buy the consulate. I wonder if he would be wise to buy the consulate first and then get the Tiger Wood later and have a pop on the units if in case they actually get pushed. However,
Yeah.
it does not matter at the moment, I would say.
Chis is really mismacroing here because he doesn't have enough wood to get villagers, houses, and soon he needs a second military building because he's gathering more resources than he can spend.
Gets a
And then
villager.
there's another problem on the horizon, that is food. He's got a couple of berries, but they're in the front. He's got a couple dead animals, but they're in the front as well. So as long as Nick can put up the pressure here at the gates, he should be fine. I'm starving Chis. And now we see the Ottoman consulate being rebuilt. So he will send some Delhi.
You got some Sowars here in the back. They are
Did he
facing
send them?
a massive mass here of Tomahawks, so the Sowars will just melt. I don't know. There's a lot of units for India here that could actually go both ways. The minute that the Tiger Claws get into those units is going to be a problem for Nick here.
They will totally shred. And the Gurkha
They
in the
will.
back, they're shooting at the musketeers. This is a total cleanup. Also, I'm really impressed by the remass by Chiz. It kind of looked very dire with the resources, but he spent his resources well. And well, Conquistador's been really strong.
I did not see those conquistadors in the back. He has actually 11 of them. He probably
What do they cost, by the way? What do they cost?
I'm not sure if anybody else in the chat knows how much a conquistador does cost. Okay, I think for Nick to survive this, you have to have a magic trick, a massive pop here.
No, that can't be right. Nick said it is 80 food, 80 coin. That's such a steal. What? No, I don't think that's a lot. I think that's super cheap. I mean, it's a H2 goon. Look at the stats. It's got the area effect. Look at the stats.
What do you see area effect?
Well, it's got a ranged area effect. It is area effect of 1, and it's got 19 base damage, and it's got the multiplier against heavy cavalry, and also a bonus against artillery. Like the longer I look at this, wow! Also 30% range resist, 7.25 speed, and 180 speed. Honestly,
HP.
the longer I look at this, the more I realize this unit is busted. I mean, compare that to a goon. Let me,
12 range in one area.
You know what? Take over the cast. I'll look it up on the Dory app right now.
Yeah. Okay, look at the course by lowering on the image of the unit. Oh, what? Oh. Thanks, the co-defender. So yeah, you definitely can actually see the price by just hovering over the image of the unit. Good to know, especially when you're casting. Okay, so now that brought a lot of injured time is getting very dangerous because we do have the Carnimara. We survived the push from the Haudenosaunee. So Nick is in a hurdle of problems. If he actually Cheers would have were to be pushed into Haudenosaunee base, would be even he could be poking it. He has a massive mass of units he could have been poking, but I don't know if he's just feeling very comfortable here and he said, you know what, I'm India, I will have the economy over time, so I do not care. I think this is favored to me. I think that's probably what he's thinking. And why not he did a little bit of more damage. He could have maybe, I don't know, take a house or another, kill another villager or another, surround the units. Maybe he didn't want to, he wasn't ready. But there you go, he's doing that right now. And we do have the visibility of Nick here. He managed to put together 19 tomahawks in that time. We do have to remind ourselves he's on 64 villagers. He can actually use the villagers as a tank here. I don't think he will because all the villagers are far away gathering resources. So he wants to remass, and we will have, let's see the visibility of Nick here. He does not know what's coming to him yet. And oh my gosh, we do have 3 boats over there. That's gonna be major damage. We can actually even take maybe possibly the Carnimara. And we are into the base of Nick. We do have 11 villagers in the down center. This 10% a little bit more than that you actually would need. All the other villagers will not gonna have to be idling apart from those in the coin mines, which is soaking a little bit of the damage, right? It's not as horrible as it would be.
Oh, man, I'm really scared for Nick here because did you see the resources? He gathered for an age up, but he couldn't do it. But
right.
Actually, this fight looks juicy for him. He connected his Kanya on the Kanye.
I think what did very well for him, he has a townside fire. He has the villagers that were collecting the mine with the auto attack that Cheese had there, allow him to actually survive this fight and actually take the army from Cheese here.
Yeah, and the remass is massive as well. Look at that. He will clean this.
He will.
And the score speaks for itself. It's 4K lead.
The problem with this, I think there was overcommitting of Cheese. He should have been eating the corners of his base, idling, killing the villagers, maybe a little bit of self-confidence when you think you're very far ahead. But you have to remind yourself the time that he gave to that push that allowed Nick to remass because of just the amount, the sheer economic boon that Nick has right now. 61 villages, that's a lot. How much boats we have? We have 20. So that 12 number is far gone, but that allows to have that extra food income. Does kick in. It does kick in very quickly, but he will have to destroy some of these boats later on.
I do not see any comeback. I do not see any comeback potential. I mean, Chiz is out on the map with the villagers, no protection for them. He doesn't have any food in base. The water is taken. He can't even go for boats. And if he wants to do anything against his opponent's eco, he would have to go on the water himself.
Right.
So this should be a GG very soon.
Because right now he has half of the amount of villagers here, Animus, and the only good thing going for Cheese is that the only thing Nick has are archers, but the total map control that he will impose here, and he will sort of idle into here like he saw here. The villagers would idle. That's the only food income, like we already knew before, and that sort of gave the game to Nick. I told you Nick is a problem. He's a good player.
I totally didn't expect it.
I did not expect either. I thought Cheese actually had it because the amount of units that Cheese... I think if Cheese pushed into his base, he would have a little bit of better chance, because even though he had the better economy, he wouldn't have to... He needed a little bit of time to remass. But because he had the economy behind, he managed to pop the barracks and just pushing units like non-stop. And also, I missed that because we were so intrigued with the fights. We did not see the community plaza in there. Very, very nice to see that too. Not the
So
same thing.
I'm sorry, guys. If I knew, I could at least record my point of view. So yeah,
Okay, can you just
we
talk a
won't have the
little
game.
bit of how the game was between Ethiopia and Ottomans at the end?
It was a 30-minute game, late game. It came down to resources. He was auto, so he could make some advanced. The thing is, yeah, he made some advanced town centers, and I couldn't catch up with the tempo. So yeah, I focused on shadows, which gave me all the fights were even, so it was a 30-minute game, balanced game. The
Nice.
score was equal the whole game. It came down to, I think, that auto is like, I know people are freaking out about Ethiopia, but Ethiopia is more like a timing sieve, right? You get the timing right, and it's almost unstoppable. But on the late game, is very hard to beat a powerful sieve like Ottoman. So
Well,
it came
Ottomans are
down to
also
that.
very meta. You can never forget that.
Yeah, I was surprised about Ottomans
As it never been
because
before. Meta Ottomans was never that good. It was always a underdog save. So it's the first time he's actually getting some love from Age of Empires 3. So
yeah, and that it's
I don't hate it.
a lot of love. I could say that Ottomans are quite strong right now.
It is. Yeah.
So yeah, it came down to that. It was a very fun game, the most fun I think in the series. Very close. I almost had it, but yeah.
That's very unfortunate, but we do have Cheese going through the next round. Then, thanks, Nick, for participating. Thanks for coming
also,
over.
honestly, really well played. I didn't know about you as a player, and I was really, positively surprised that you actually pulled off the win in the second one, and also the first one. Yeah, I mean, your builds were solid, really.